I did my lesson plan with a fourth grader who had difficulty with adding mixed fractions. My lesson plan consisted of using different strategies to help the student add mixed fractions. Students showed her learning through using manipulatives as well as pictures and the use of the operation of addition to solve mixed fractions. My activity included using the manipulatives of circle pies to solve different problems with like denominators. In order to understand prior knowledge the student had with mixed fractions, I engaged by asking her a simple question of how many pieces of pizza do you think you can eat? During the explore section, I gave her a scenario of a pizza party, allowing her to pick two different amounts that two people would bring to the pizza party and using these manipulatives to solve for it. The student explained her understanding of all the strategies by explaining what she had written down in her whiteboard as well as the use of her manipulatives. This is a student work which represents her different strategies that she used in order to solve the problem of 1 and 1/7 plus 2 and 3/7. She explained that she needed to add the whole numbers first, which added up to 3. Then she added up the numerators of the fractions 1 and 3, which added up to 4. She then put down the denominator 7 for her answer, since she saw that 7 was the like denominator. Instead of using her manipulatives, she drew a similar representation in order to help her add to verify that her answer is correct. She drew the first part, which was 1 and 1/7, and then drew the 2 and 3/7, which she then added up the whole numbers first, that added up to 3, and then she put the 1/7 next to 3/7 and counted each one to see that fraction up to 4 and 3/7, and when putting it all together, it was 3 and 4/7. In the textbook, it talks about the importance to find all the different definitions and meanings of a fraction and making sure to understand all the parts. In this case, we talked about one of the definition, which was part to whole, with the use of the circular pie pieces. I wanted to make sure that the student knew what she was doing while with through using language and notation of fractions. In this case, she was able to explain every single part of her strategy in order for me to understand what she did. At the bottom of the student's work, you can see that she wanted to use a method of turning the mixed fractions into an improper fraction to verify her answer as well. She multiplied the whole number with the denominator, then added the numerator in both of the mixed fractions. She added both of these fractions to find the solution. She was able to make the connection between the 25/7 and the 3 and 4/7. She saw that the 25 represented the total pieces that would be found in all of these. Since each one represents 7 and 7 is 14 and 7 is 21, and then she added 4 more to 21, which added 25. The 7 represented the section that the hole was cut into. One of the common errors that the student did when adding the common denominators was that she added the 7 to 7 into 14. Since she saw that we were adding the whole numbers and the denominators, she believed that she could do the same with the denominators. She was corrected by using the strategy down here of the pictures where she saw that the 7 represented the sections that it was cut into, not as two different parts. Next step that the student would take would be using this process of mixed fractions to subtract and using the similar models to reinforce both operations.